What's up, everybody, and what a card it was tonight. Just got done watching the fights, and let's get right into it. But before we talk about the main card, let's talk about the prelims because there were some kind of crazy fights in here as well. All right, now let's talk about the Iaquinta fight because this was I believe it was the first. I think. Okay, so this fight, I thought Iaquinta would have won. If I could have bet on it, I would have bet on Iaquinta to win. He won his last fight pretty decisively, and and when I was watching the fight, he looked very good. He looked very good. His striking was better than Mitch Clark's, and he was getting the takedowns, and he easily would have won that fight, easily. And if they fight again, which they're not gonna do, Iaquinta would win. Iaquinta is the better fighter. Mitch Clark just got lucky. It's pretty much what happened. And in his next fight, I have a feeling he's going to see that that's true. He's going to fight someone just as good as Iaquinta or better, and yeah, things aren't going to be too good for Clark. But yeah, Iaquinta was a better fighter. He should have won that. Clark got lucky. Okay, Holdsworth and Kamas. Okay, now I knew Holdsworth was going to win, or at least I thought he was. Well, he did, but I was surprised that Kamas was landing so many punches. Holdsworth had a huge reach advantage, and he looked like twice the size of Chico Camus in there. Holdsworth has got to work on his head movement or something because he was getting hit with a lot of right hands. But you know what, his grappling really showed, and that's what got him the win. And it was a good grappling win, but he needs to he needs to learn how to parry some shots or do some head movement because I was very worried about his striking. Next fight, Tony Ferguson versus Katsunori Kikuguno. I think I said that right. This fight, I didn't know either one. I was surprised that Tony Ferguson was on the Ultimate Fighter because usually I watch all of them, but I don't know. I just didn't recognize him, and I was worried. I didn't know either one of these fighters, so I was just kind of neutral. Usually, when I'm neutral, I just kind of choose a fighter on the fly based on whose style I like. I did not like Kikuno's style. I did not like the hands out, chin up. I didn't like what he was doing. So right off the bat, I was rooting for Ferguson. Ferguson had me worried though. He was getting hit with a lot of strikes right off the bat. I had a feeling he was going to get taken out, but somehow he adapted and took out Kikuno pretty decisively. So yeah, I was worried at the beginning, but he looked really good at the end. Chiesa versus Trinaldo. Now I saw the first part of this fight and the part where Trinaldo landed that beautiful knee to Chiesa's stomach. I was surprised Trinaldo didn't try to work that area more. I can't really talk about this further than that because I didn't really see it. I'm surprised Chiesa won though because Trinaldo's been winning a lot of fights. So this is a really good fight for Chiesa, especially since he lost his last one. Another fight. Actually, he should have won that last fight. So this is a really good one for him. Okay, now let's move on to the main card. Okay, so as anybody who listens to this know, and that's maybe one or two people, I'm on countermove.com, and I don't really bet money, not yet, anyways. But right now I go on the free stuff and I love participating. I really like now that how they do, or at least the one I bet on, you're only allowed to bet on the main card one. So I really, really like that. And in that, I bet on Jamie Varner just because I don't really know James Cross very well. You know what? I'm done betting on Jamie Varner because the last one I bet on him, he should have won that. He got knocked out. You guys all saw that. And in this one, I mean, it's not really his fault. Let's talk about the whole ankle injury. That was terrible. We all had to, give some respect to Jamie Varner for even, he buckled that ankle three times and he was still fighting. James Cross now, I hate victories like this because when he kicked Jamie Varner, I don't think that's what did it. It was, his leg went to the side and he put his foot down and he landed wrong on it. So technically, no one really won or lost this. Obviously, Jamie Varner is going to be out for a while, but I hate fights like this because no one wins and loses. I mean, you train so hard, 9 weeks or however long, and and just to come out like, well, at least he got the paycheck. I guess you could take it. But yeah, crazy fight. I hope Jamie Varner heals up. Oh yeah, and I'm never betting on Jimmy Varner because he's always been a bad bet for me. Okie dokie. Takaya Mitsugaki versus Francisco Rivera. Okay, on this one, I've seen Mizugaki's previous fights. He's got very good boxing, and especially good 1-2-3 combination, which is pretty much what he throws, except for sometimes he throws the left hook to your head and sometimes he throws it to the body. I bet on him because, he's been very consistent. He's fought with some very good fighters. Off the top of my head, I can't come up with any names, but I do know he fought some tough fighters. And in this fight, though, he did get caught a few times. Rivera hit him with that kick, which I was surprised. I thought Mizugaki would go in there and not just outbox him and just, ground and pound him out. But, he out-grappled him. Rivera, he was doing very well until he had the guillotine. And once he had that guillotine, you can just tell a lot of guys do this. They put their hopes, everything they have into one submission. And that's what he did. He put everything he had into that guillotine, and when he did not get it, he gave up pretty much physically and mentally. Like he had nothing, his arms were tired physically, but mentally he just gave up. Like once that guillotine didn't work, it was over. A lot of guys do this, they put all their hopes into winning into like one shot or one punch, and you can just see it. It was a guillotine out of desperation, which it shouldn't have been because, it was an even fight right there. But that's what happened. The minute he lost that guillotine, that fight was over. So yeah, about that. Robbie Lawler versus Ellenberger. This was a fight I wanted to see, but at the same time, it looks like I really want to see this. But at the same time, when there's fighters like this who have knockout power like this, both guys, they're not stupid. They got here because they're smart fighters, and they have to respect each other because both of them have knockout power. So whenever you see two guys that are this, that have knockout power like this, they're just going to stand in front of each other. They'd be stupid to just try to brawl. And you can see Jake Ellenberger he had kind of like an afraid look. Like he didn't, Robbie Lawler took everything he had and he just kept coming forward smiling. He's like, he wants this. He gets that energy and thrives off of it. Whereas Jake Ellenberger, you can just tell he didn't want any part of that. He just kind of wanted to land some shots and hope that Robbie Lawler went down, but he was not going down. Robbie Lawler wanted to brawl, and Jake Ellenberger did not want it. You could see in that third round, he landed some good shots, and Robbie Lawler was not fazed. And the minute Robbie Lawler started to pounce on him, Jake Ellenberger was like, "Ref, just get me out of here." I don't think that's what he meant with the look. I think he really thought that he got poked in the eye, probably with the knuckle, like Joe Rogan said. I don't think it had anything to do with, I'm scared, get me out of here, or anything along those lines. But yeah, Robbie Lawler looks very good. I don't think anyone other than maybe Johnny Hendricks can beat him. So I'm hoping to see Robbie Lawler fight Johnny Hendricks again with hopefully one more win over, I don't know, somebody. Daniel Cormier versus Dan Henderson. Oh my God, this fight was crazy. Of course, I bet on Daniel Cormier because Daniel Cormier is Daniel Cormier. He is DC. He trains with Cain Velasquez. I mean, anything. If Cain can't take him out, then definitely Dan Henderson can't. And who the heck is Dan Henderson training with? In that UFC Insider, I saw him training with one of those guys from the last UFC, well, not the last Ultimate Fighter, but like the one with those Canadians and all that. Damn it, what was it? I don't know. He was training with some guy who didn't even win the first round in the Ultimate Fighter. He was probably training with some other people, but I mean, it doesn't compare to who DC's training with. And DC, he truly is. Like, if Alexander Gustafsson loses, DC gets the shot, and if DC loses, then John Jones has to fight Cain. Because, Alexander Gustafsson, DC, and Cain are the only people that can beat him. And DC, wow. Like, I truly think DC could probably even beat Alexander Gustafsson because he looked very strong. He has that heavyweight strength. And we saw that. Dan Henderson couldn't do anything. And he's also an Olympic wrestler. He could not do anything. DC completely controlled him in that strength. It was like he threw Dan Henderson off a building when he went in for that double leg and just threw him up in the air. That was just, I've never seen anything like that other than Rampage. throwing down I don't know, some Brazilian guy in the Pride. You guys know what I'm talking about. Oh, that was crazy. All right, now to the final fight. Okay, I've been talking to a lot of people, and I've been telling them, TJ Dillashaw, especially in his last fight, he's got very good striking, and the striking, which is interesting, is it looks the footwork, the combinations, the going from right-handed and in combination going into southpaw, and the footwork, it all looked just like one person. Dominic Cruz. And the crazy thing is he doesn't even train with Dominic Cruz. He trains with Team Alpha Male, like the rivals of Dominic Cruz. And he looked just like Dominic Cruz in there. Did he look just as good? No, but obviously now we all know if Dominic Cruz was to come in at his prime against Renan Barão, we all know now that Dominic Cruz would take out Renan Barão. TJ Dillashaw looked very, very good. I was telling all my fans, I bet it on TJ Dillashaw. Now, I didn't put money on him, but I did bet on him. I had that much. I just thought he could win. And obviously he did that. I did not think he was going to take Renan Barão out. I thought if he was going to win, he was just going to pick him apart and go 5 rounds. I was surprised he was able to TKO Renan Barão. And here's one thing. GSP kind of said this, there's a point in every champ's career when he gets put in a bad spot and he gets tested, like John Jones versus Alexander Gustafsson, GSP against, BJ Penn, and Renan Barão, his time was right now. He got tested. And after that first round, you could just kind of see it on his face. Think about it. He's only lost, one time, and who knows when that was. He's won 31 fights in a row, and this was the first time that he's actually been hurt. He got hurt very bad, and he was very beat up in that first round. And you could just see it in his eyes that he didn't really know what to do. He actually looked a little scared. And I was surprised. This is what we're gonna see. Either Renan Barão's gonna get his shit together and fight better now, or he's just gonna break. And I wouldn't say he completely broke because, he was landing a lot of good shots, things like that. But, he did get dominated. TJ did, get hit quite a few times. But, I can't wait to see TJ Dillashaw versus Dominic Cruz because these two fighters are the closest fighting styles when it comes to footwork, when it comes to these combos. Of course, I still think Dominic Cruz is the best once he, gets that ring rust and all that out of the way. But if you wanted the closest fighter to Dominic Cruz, we all know Dominic Cruz can beat Renan Barão now, and TJ Dillashaw looked very good. I've been telling people, if I hadn't already said this, that TJ Dillashaw is the closest guy to beat Renan Barão. I didn't think Uriah Faber's striking was good enough. I think Uriah Faber tends to athletically beat people via his speed, strength, rather than actually technically beat people. The crazy thing is TJ Dillashaw, what did he go in for? 2-3 takedowns? If you looked at Renan Barão and that UFC Insider, his trainer was saying they pretty much just trained for a wrestler. So I think they thought that he was just going to strike just to get on the inside like a typical wrestler, but he wasn't even trying to do that. He didn't go for a takedown until that second round, and I think the next 2 takedowns after that, he actually got them. So Renan Barão's never been taken down or never even been on his back, and TJ Dillashaw put him there. And a couple times were via striking. So TJ, he beat Renan Barão. He went 5 rounds and TKO'd him. That's when you beat someone. Not when you just punched them one time in the first round. You could just say someone got a lucky shot in. But if you fight someone for 5 rounds, and TJ won every single round, and then he finally beat him in the last round, which he also won. That's a beat right there. That's not you won the match. That's beating somebody. And Dillashaw did that. And that was a major upset. Now, the only thing I'm worrying about now about Dillashaw is I heard that Dwayne Ludwig is actually going to be building his own gyms, or he's going to be starting his own business now. So I'm just wondering, can TJ now keep up this striking, keep the the footwork, keep it, the side to side work, because this stuff doesn't just like, hey, I know it now. I got my black belt in Dwayne Ludwig, and I'm good. Like, see you later, shake his hand, go make your own business. You got to keep this stuff up. So I'm just hoping, TJ, keeps hopefully going with Dwayne, so we can, see him defend this title. Hopefully not against Uriah, because I wouldn't want to see teammates fight. I'm not the type of person that wants something like that. I mean, there's so many people in that division. But yeah, either way, I was very surprised about the main card, but I very much enjoyed it. I love upsets, especially against champs. I don't like, not that I don't like Brandon Barral. He looks like a really nice guy. I saw him when he was fighting, was it Michael McDonald? Something like that, McDonald. He looked like a really, really nice guy and all that. But I'm sick of the same champs beating just everybody. I like a little bit of chaos in the divisions. I don't know. That's just me. So yeah, I thought this card for the most part was just really fun to watch. The top 3 fights, I mean, that's really all that anybody cares about. It's the top 3 fights. And the Lar fight was pretty good. It could have been better. Cormier fight was just crazy. I saw some stuff I never saw. So yeah, that was pretty good. And the Dillashaw Barral fight, I mean, that was awesome. That could go down as one of the top 10 fights of the year for sure. So these are my thoughts, and thanks for listening to the 2 or 3 viewers that actually watched this, or I don't know, the 1 viewer that actually stays. So thanks for listening, and there's going to be more in the future. So subscribe and comment in the comments below, so maybe we get a little conversation going. That'd be interesting.